All right, folks, Simon here, and welcome to the first game of the 2022 Chandrian Invitational Tournament. This is a 7x7 tournament, as you can see by the board right here. And that does mean, yes, there are two capstones per player, and that gets pretty crazy. And if you haven't seen last year's Chandrian Invitational, I recommend you go check out some of the games that I was able to cover on that over on the YouTube channel as well. But this was a very difficult tournament to play last year. I'm not in it this year, but I will be taking some commentary on these games. And this one is between Abyss and alion02. We all know Abyss. He's been a top player in the community for several years now, since basically the beginning. And alion02 is fairly new to Tak, hasn't been playing for more than a few months or so, but alion02 has proven to be a pretty strong player, especially in the recent Tak Open, where he played pretty well against top players like Abyss and fwwwwwibib. I believe he split his games against Abyss, winning one of them, and we'll see if that happens again for him here. So this will be an interesting and exciting match between the two of them. And this tournament is also played with, like I said, 7x7 board size with a 15-minute timer and a 20-second increment and 2 komi, and it is just one single game, not two games between the two. So it's just one single game. And I believe Abyss playing in white and alion02 playing as black. So we will be seeing that, and that's going to be pretty exciting. As soon as they get that seek up, we will be ready to go. And then we will watch this 2022 Chandrian Invitational Tournament match. And there we go with the first move. Has been played, going for that adjacent corners. Opening here. Abyss is in white. Will he go straight for that center capture? I know in the last tournament we saw a lot of people drop a capstone here right at that first move, right at d4. No, not going for it. Instead, going to be placing off to the side, not taking that center square, and I think that's pretty interesting. That was basically every game someone took that center square in the last tournament. So we'll see what Abyss has up his sleeve. If he has something that he's been practicing or some other idea in the works here, I would be interested to see that. And we see him playing off, going straight for this line, and then opening up this spot. alion02 is open up the spot for a capstone to drop, doesn't drop the capstone, instead drops a flat. I find it interesting that we're not seeing capstones just yet. They do have two capstones, and those two capstones, you'd think you'd want to get them out pretty early. At least the first one out early, and the second one you can kind of hold in reserve a little bit. That's what I've been thinking about in this, and I feel like that's pretty solid in terms of strategy, but we'll see what he's doing with this. We may see something down here at e2, something here at c3. We may see a capstone drop somewhere. At d2 or c3, I think a capstone would be pretty solid there for Abyss. I like the idea of that because it fortifies the position of the d3, kind of keeps black from making any headway over there. But instead we're seeing white play up at f5. Now f5 is interesting because it works towards that vertical threat connecting up to g7 here, but it also works towards that horizontal threat building across here at d5, then going for that horizontal row. I wonder what we're going to see. Okay, black now playing at c3. Interesting. Maybe planning on coming down with d4 to make a horizontal threat. Could we see white drop a capstone at d2? no, just going to be playing up at f6, going for that vertical and horizontal line, trying to connect up to that anchor point at g7, it looks like. Black content to keep going for that horizontal road. White dropping that capstone, ready to come over either onto d4 or down onto c3. d4 I feel like is better because it does make that connection and sort of fortify this position and keep black from coming over and making that threat. And white can use that capstone positioning. Black now playing off to the side of that capstone, ready to, I guess, switch gears and go for that vertical line. I'm not sure if white is going to make that capture yet or wait for the capture. We might see something like a d2, or we might see the connection up here, actually, at maybe f7 or g6. It's tough to stay. Still early in the game. As you can see, sevens does have 40 flats per person, and we are playing with a 2 komi, and of course the 2 capstones per player. Komi in this case, in Tak, is where we add 2 points to the flat count of black if the game does not end in a road. And that is to help sort of even things out between the 2 colors. White playing up here at b4, and then we see right away the b5, and then boom, f4 from black. Interesting. That is interesting. So it looks like black is playing over here, ready to kind of jump up and cut into white's threats and sort of mess up what he's got going on over there. We may see a citadel form. White could play here maybe at e6 to sort of fortify that position. Maybe play at f5. Not sure. But I think an e6 would be really strong here for white. Doesn't have to worry about black making a threat right now. Can build out that citadel, and that would be a very strong position. And it would keep white able to use those pieces that he's been building with for a while in an offensive way. All right, Abyss taking his time here. We will note the time. Abyss, known for taking quite a bit of time on his turns, at least in the early game. He will take quite a bit, run down his time, and then play very, very quickly, basically on the increment for the last 30 turns of the game. And it looks like Abyss does go for that e6 placement, building that citadel, fortifying that position. We may see black try to take up here at e4. No, dropping the capstone. And I think that's a really strong position for this capstone. It's able to come across and cut over onto e5 and keep white from really building anything in this direction, or really anywhere. This cutting off e5 here cuts off basically everything that white's been working towards. So I think that's a pretty strong move here. And I wonder how white is going to respond to that. But like I said, we do see Abyss taking quite a bit more time, and alion02 is still above that 15-minute start time. Oh, Abyss coming over with that capstone, making that capture. Making that connection here to this side. I feel like alion02 will eventually come over onto e5 with this capstone. I think that's sort of, we know that's going to happen. But I wonder what he's going to do now, because I don't think he needs to at this point. I think he wants to build towards his own threats at this point, and then he can work on cutting that off a little bit later, a few turns in. Taking his time, though. And I think this is a good point in the game for alion02 to take his time. Taking just about a minute on that turn, and he finally does play over here at g4. And I understand this g4 placement for a couple reasons. Wants to play at g4, gives him an anchor point for this horizontal line, but also it keeps white from playing here at g4. White playing at g4 would allow him to, if that capstone came over, come over again onto f4, and then maintain that connection off to the side with sort of that double citadel formation here. And so playing here at g4 helps him offensively and defensively at the same time. And if you've seen anything I talk about in terms of tak strategy, offensive and defensive moves, a move that can do both things at once, that is key to making a solid move in tak. Deny your opponent good position and give yourself opportunities for roads. All right, now looks like Abyss is just playing down here at d2. Now, d2 also keeps black from placing a flat here to come up and capture onto d3 for that horizontal threat, but it also works towards that vertical line that Abyss has been building toward this entire game. So, solid position, solid move. I think that's what we're going to be seeing for a lot of this game. These are both strong players. All right, that second capstone comes down from alion02. Now we may see, I'm liking c4 for Abyss actually, for a couple reasons. Number one, it works towards this. Ooh, actually, he may just want to make that connection at this point. If he makes the connection up at like g6 or something, maybe. I'm not sure about that actually. Something about making this connection makes a little bit of sense. Because it makes this threat in the vertical direction, the capstone comes over, and then white can play maybe here at c4. No, that wouldn't be good for white, because black would then come up, and that would be a threat that white would have to deal with the capture. But he's gonna go for it anyway. He's gonna make that f7 play. Oh, and black doesn't bring the capstone over as I expected he would. Instead, he drops the flat here at d1, blocking that vertical threat. We may see him place at e1 or at e2 to continue the threat. That is interesting. I'm thinking I still like being able to work for this horizontal line though, because he does have that connection in the horizontal direction coming across, maybe making a connection here to a5 or a4, placing here at c4, but I think he might want to keep pushing for this vertical direction. Playing here at e2 would work. I like e2 for some reason. Yes, it's an immediate tak threat. Yes, it can be cut off very quickly. I still like it. Still like it. I do tend to favor moves that give me momentum, however, and so I may be blinded by that. Now let's take a look at the time difference again. Abyss down below 11 minutes on the clock. alion02 still above the 15-minute start time. Neither player has made a flat-on-flat capture, if you'll notice. The only captures that have been made have been with the capstones onto other flats. We've got someone in the chat saying C4 is explosive. Yes, C4 is explosive, but it would be a solid move also. Does go for the E1, and then immediately that capstone comes over. Are we going to be seeing an E2 played? alion02 taking no time with his turns, making them very quickly. I feel like, ooh, dropping the capstone there. That's an interesting play. Now, will this capstone come up on? Yes, it will. Now, this is a tack threat from black. White comes up, renews the tack threat. Black can drop a flat or a wall here and cut that threat off right away. If they drop a wall, it's more securely cut off. If they drop a flat, I imagine we're just going to see an F2 right away. We could also see, finally, this capstone at D5 coming over here onto E5. Another potential move. Ooh, we do see the flat drop. Okay, are we going to see that F2? This is getting interesting. Abyss now below 10 minutes on the clock. alion02 still above 15 minutes on the clock. Playing quickly doesn't always mean playing well, however. Though he is doing a pretty good job, I'd say, of taking on Abyss at this moment. Very strong player, very difficult to beat. But again, this is 7x7, and not many people have very much experience in 7x7. We do see that flat place, and then immediately black comes over with the capstone, ready to cut things off, as we knew would happen. Will white place down here at F1? Will they shift gears and go for something else? Maybe go for this horizontal line, playing across E6, going over here, maybe playing over at C5 or C6 or something like that, playing along, maybe A5, going for the horizontal line. That could be a viable way to go from here. Switch gears, switch directions. Or they could double down and start playing more at F1 and going for this vertical threat yet again. A lot of options here. It's tough to be in this early mid game of a 7x7 match where there's so many options and so many different directions you can take this. It's almost easier to be on the more defensive side like alion02 is, because you can be more reactive and you have fewer options on your turn. Whereas white has tons and tons of options right now. Lots of different directions to go to, and to be able to analyze all of them is very difficult. So gotta figure out what's going on. All right, it looks like we got some other people in the chat saying gotta control the center now. Yeah, center control would be nice, but not necessarily that big of a deal right now. He's got a capstone here on D4, so Abyss is in a pretty solid position being able to control the very center of the board, but this general center, I mean, we've got all four capstones right here in this center area here. So it's going to be tough to maintain any sort of control on this. I think we're going to see the threats being pushed out around outer edges of the board, and we're going to see these capstones having to be thrown in order to interrupt those. So it looks like white is placing here at C5, going to be going for that horizontal threat, Black immediately cutting that off with a5, going to switch gears to a vertical threat now. And that's why I really liked a5 instead of something like c5. Fwib in the chat saying he liked d5 and d6 for white, and I agree with that. I think those were pretty solid too, because those would work towards this horizontal threat and also for the vertical at the same time. It would have been really, really solid. But now Black's got the momentum building for this vertical road after playing at c5. So if he was going to go for that horizontal route without playing d5, d6, I think a5 would have been the move to play here. But yeah, I agree with Fwib, and I didn't even realize it at the time. The d5, d6 area, that would have worked a lot better, I think, for Abyss. But now we're seeing some strong plays here from Black going for this vertical threat. I think Abyss is going to have to do some work. alion02 now over 16 minutes on the clock, playing super fast. And Abyss with less than half that time. Abyss taking a lot more time thinking on these moves, but also when he takes a lot of time thinking about these moves, he's also giving alion02 time to think about what he's going to do next. All right, here we go. Playing up at c6. This is going for that connection. And he's playing at c6, not playing here at d6, because he knows he can take this capstone and throw it up to smash a wall if a wall is placed here on d6. So he's going to leave that spot open and have that be the end, because it's harder to block a d6 placement here for a road than something else. So smart play, I'd say, from Abyss going for that. But he's going to have trouble off on the left-hand side. Black is going to be able to cut off what he's doing here with some simple captures. Currently not a attack threat for white. Black has time to place around. Looks like he's playing here at a3, fortifying this position. Now, what white wants to do here is probably capture up onto a5, but that is going to leave some issues. A6 minus might occur, but then white can drop a wall on a6. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm not sure that a3 placement really helps Black out as much as he thought it would. I think maybe a b6 placement would have been a lot stronger for Black. So we look back here, we see c6 was played. Well, b6 is played here. That also makes this vertical threat on the next turn after placing at d2. That does the same thing, but also helps cut this off a little bit better and has a stronger position at the end. So I'd say, I think b6 here would have been a lot stronger than a3. And alion02 could have taken a little bit more time on his turn and maybe seen that, or maybe I'm way off base and he's made a much stronger turn, stronger move than I had thought. So we'll see how Abyss, we'll see how alion02 responds to Abyss's capture. This is attack threat for white. Now, if Black does capture down a6 onto a5, I think we're going to see, I think we'll have to see a white recapture. We're not going to see a wall at a6. I think we'll first see the capture, and then Black makes the wall. I wouldn't think that Abyss would let this capture happen and then drop a wall here, because it would just result in a strong FCD move there. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know about that move. That feels very, very risky. Now white's going to play at e5. And then that's attack threat in two directions. And Black would then move their capstone over to f6 and cut that side off. But I still think that move is very, very risky. And gives Abyss a lot of opportunities. I think playing here at e5 is just so strong. It gives the attack threat in the vertical direction and the horizontal direction. Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems, oh, he's not taking it. He didn't go e5. He went instead for d5. which is only a horizontal threat. Oh, I see what he's doing, because then he can throw the capstone up onto e5 if black misses it and thinks he can wall there. I'm really surprised about that, though. I still think e5 is such a strong move. He's got this going. Okay, I'm liking d5 the more I see it, the more I look at it, because I don't think Abyss is counting on winning in the next 2 or 3 turns. I think he's counting on winning in the next 10 turns. And he wants to be able to do that. And so he wants to set up, maybe place at c7 soon. That's going to be a vertical tack threat down here as well, in addition to having this horizontal one going. And so he can keep building across up here for more horizontal threats up above and for the vertical. I think Abyss is playing a little bit longer in terms of how many moves ahead he's looking here. Now let's see if alion02 is going to use some of his built-up time, now down below 14 minutes on the clock, in order to respond to Abyss's play. Now, we will notice that they're 21 moves into the game. Abyss is down to 6 minutes. alion02 is just 13 and a half or so. And oh, okay. What are they going to do now? So he moves over. Hold on. Is he going to drop a flat here at e5? I like that move. Dropping a flat at e5 is good. It makes the tack threat. Black is... he has to respond to that at some point. In some way. Probably by dropping a flat or a wall here. Then white responds with c7 for the vertical threat. Then maybe something like e7 for the horizontal after that. I don't know. This is starting to get interesting. Let's take a look at the flat count as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 flats for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 flats for black. And then again, that is accounting for the 2 komi in this tournament game. So black is up by 2 flats. So Abyss is going to want to rectify that in some way, or try to win by a road. And now he's playing over here at b6. Interesting, making this citadel here before making any threats. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's good. I think on the next turn, if black doesn't play anything here, we are going to be seeing a capture war that leaves white in control up here. White wants to play here at e5 next turn. And if white gets the chance to play at e5 next turn, it's going to be very difficult to stop the threat that white's building for. And yeah, it's alion02 may be thinking he wants to win this on flats. And he does have the flat advantage right now. He's got 2 flats on Abyss. But he's got to be careful because the positions that Abyss have been building are very strong. And that wall, I think, is crucial and is the exact move that alion02 needed to make. I mean, sure, Abyss can make the threat by placing at g5, but that's easily stopped. I think this is a turning point in the game. It's also important to note that this capstone is effectively pinned, so it can't jump up and smash prematurely, otherwise it leaves a road for black. So this capstone has to stay here or move to the right. It can't go up or down. But it can move up if it's making the final move, smashing the wall or something like that, for a road. But Abyss down to 3.5 minutes on the clock. alion02 down just below 13 minutes. Abyss is making that attack threat, placing there at g5. Will we see that wall now come left onto d5? Or will it be something else? What are we going to see here? And now if that wall does come left onto d5, what's white going to do? Is white going to fill in at e5, renew the threat? That would work towards this vertical line. It would work towards the horizontal one. It would be an immediate attack threat in the horizontal direction, but it would also work towards the vertical threat in 2 turns or so. A lot of options. We are seeing in the chat, it's not an Abyss game unless he ends up playing on increment. That is true. He does end up playing on increment pretty much every game, so we'll see if that's going to be the case here. alion02 probably thinking, okay, I probably don't want to move this wall here because that leads to more things happening. Oh, he does it anyway. Will white now fill in at e5? I like filling it at e5, but I'm not Abyss. Abyss is a better player than I am, so he knows the right move to make, or he can figure it out probably better than I can. But I do really like e5 here, just filling in with a flat. It makes the attack threat, forces a move from black, a capture move from black even, which means white can get further ahead on flats, or not further ahead, but it can start catching up more on flats. And get more flats on the board, which is nice because that runs down his reserves. Oh man, that is risky. He's so close. Black is so close to a road here. White makes the smash up with this capstone. I didn't even consider that move. That is scary. That is a scary position. And black can't wall here. He's got to make a capture. I'm assuming this capstone is going to come down onto f5. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't even consider that move. Yeah, the capstone stack does come down onto f5. Fwib saw that and said he liked that move before Abyss made it. Let's see. Now we get attack threat from white playing up here at e7. He can toss this capstone up, spreading, dropping 1 white on d6, and then dropping the capstone on d7. That would be a road, so black's going to have to do something about that. Drops a wall. That will do it. Now will we see white drop a flat on d6? Totally possible here. A flat on d6 would renew the threat. Also a flat on e6 would renew the threat. e6 because then it would be going towards this vertical threat as well. Wow, it's interesting. Does go for the e6, so it looks like he is trying to go for this vertical threat because he knows this is going to get blocked off somehow. He can't move this wall to the right. He can move the capstone left. He can't wall here. He can move this. No, he can't move that. He has to capture here or move the capstone left. Yeah, I think his only options are to capture onto A5 or move the capstone onto E6. Wow. It's good position here for Abyss. Solid positioning for Abyss. Really forcing alion02 to make these suboptimal moves. Yeah, he's got to take this whole stack from F5 and move it left. I think that's really his only option here. I mean, he can capture down onto A5 and lose a capture war there. Oh yeah, he can't move the capstone because this smashes. Yeah, his only option was A6 minus. Yeah, I'm really smart, guys. Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't have done anything because this cap smashes. Okay, so that recapture occurred. Not attack threat currently. Black needs to drop a wall. Where are they going to drop it? That's the question. Do they drop it here at B5 or do they drop it at A6? Drops it at A6. Now, what does white... Oh, white now plays at E5? Or comes over with the capstone onto E5? Maybe coming to D5 right. That might be a good move. Because 2D5 right means that black needs this wall to move E6. I think that's the only move that works. This is interesting. What's he gonna do? 2.5 minutes on the clock for Abyss, 10.5 minutes on the clock for alion02. Oh man. Oh, he goes for the spread, going for FCD, flat count differential. And if you're unfamiliar with flat count differential, you can check out the FCD or flat count differential video on Tak University. It explains what that is, but that was a +3 flat count differential move. If I'm not mistaken. No, sorry. It was a +2 flat count differential move. +2 flat count differential move. I did like 2d5 right there. I thought that was fun because it forces the only move is d5 right. I'm not sure how many options are left after that, but it's fun. And I like fun moves. What are we looking at here? Now, black can make a threat here. Oh no, he can't make a threat here. Because these were cut off, so we can't do anything about this area. Yeah, I don't know what black's going to do here. Black wants these stacks, of course. He wants to recover those prisoners. Liberate the captives. I'm not sure what method he's going to use. Is he going to drop another wall? Is he going to move a wall? Is he going to move a flat? Is he going to do a flat-on-flat capture over there? There's a lot of opportunities there for white to come back from that. I am not sure. Alion not taking his time. Oh, drops another wall. Does go for it. Let's take a look at the flat count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 2 is 12 for black. However, black does have the opportunity to recover some flats in the next couple turns with these walls. Let's see, white plays up at c7. Going for, I think, a second vertical line. Okay. Black can come down and recover some of those. White does have 1+2 move as well in terms of flat kind differential. I think that wall at a5, does that mess him up at all? I don't think there's a attack threat here. I don't see it. If there is one, I'm not seeing it. I think moving that wall at a5 down is the move to play here. Trying to think of what else, what white's going to do after that wall at a5 comes down. Because I'm looking at potentially capturing over with f2 left. Or black could preemptively move that capstone left. The capstone did come over. Okay. Then the wall at a5 can come down in the next turn or so. Oh. Okay then. White's cap comes down, making the connection here. That looks strong. Now black can't make any threat above this line. Black's road is going to have to be below these capstones. It's going to have to connect here at d2 and then have something capture onto f2 to make that connection. And that just is going to take way too long. And so white is going to maintain that momentum for a long time, making lots of moves that work towards a road. And so alion02 is going to be on the back foot for a while. I think capturing on a4 is the move to make here. He wants to be able to cut off what white does. White makes the connection. Here's the attack threat in the vertical direction. f2 left would be a road. Now, how does black respond to that? Do they bring over a wall? Bringing that wall over just leads to a flat being placed there at d6 and renewing. So that's not a good way to do it. You could capture over onto e1. That would work. Could capture down onto e1. That would also work. That would be a way to stop that temporarily. Maybe white is thinking about placing at b5 and a5, going for that horizontal line as well. There's a lot of options here. 7x7 is a beast. It's a completely different animal with those two capstones. Bigger size. Now we see the time catching up to alion02 down to below 5 minutes on the clock. Abyss is just at 2:40. So for Abyss, big chunk of that time was in those first 15 moves. And in alion02, these latest 10 moves, or latest 5 moves really, have put him down a ton of time. So that wall came down onto d5, and I'd say that was a pretty solid play there. What is the play now? Renews it just with a placement at c4. Black's cap comes down. Now, at this point, I kind of like d6. Now, my thought process is white can play at d6 and then make a smash onto a4, and then smashing up or going right would both be attack threats. So I liked the d6 or a d7 first before, yeah, d7 would have been the move. I liked d7 before playing maybe at a5 or something like that. I like that a little bit more. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like d7 would have been the move to play, but he went a5 instead. How will Black respond? Black basically has no chance for a road here. His positioning is just not great, but he can push this to flats. Looks like he's playing his first offensive move, non-reactive move in a while, playing down at d2, fortifying that position, also building towards working around in that horizontal direction. Now we see attack threat from white. Black cuts that off with the wall. Black now can make attack threat on the next turn. Where was that played? d7 was played. Ah, this is attack threat for white. Dropping a black, white, and then the capstone, and another white. So 4, d4, left, 1, 1, 2. And that is PTN, or portable Tak notation, which is off to the side here. You can learn about that on the PTN, or portable Tak notation video of Tak University as well. But yeah, so 44 left, 1, 1, 2 is a attack threat. So white has to respond to that somehow. They do that by bringing that wall to the right. Now, what is the move? Okay, so now I think white could do 3a3 plus. That would be attack threat. Oh, instead he's playing for that wall down at f1. I liked the 3a3 plus move because it would have forced something. If it was a b4 left, then you could have done the capstone moving left, capturing, being able to spread right or capture up for that. I think that would have been fun. But instead we get the wall down here. Let's take a look at the flat count yet again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait, hold on. Okay, here's attack threat from black. Attack threat from black going to the right. Okay, 14 for white. 14 for black, and that is with the komi, 14. So they are tied up on flats right now. Black is making that attack threat. How will how will white respond here? Does go for the self-capture, which is tough because that hurts him in terms of flats. But I think that it was the best move overall that he could have made. He's probably going to end up spreading that left, dropping here onto E2, and then the wall there onto D2. I think that'll work out for him in the end. Currently, it puts him back a flat. It takes him down to 13, and black stays at 14 flats. But he can change that and make a +3 move on the next turn, and that'll really set him up in terms of flat count, and that'll be nice. But still plenty of game to go in terms of flats here. Now, this is not attack threat for black. White can build more offensively right now. Can still do that 3A3 plus move. No, dropping a flat there at C2, which is good. Oh, okay. So a flat at C1 would be attack threat for white now. But it also helps work towards cutting off black's horizontal threat, even though he's got this wall set up. I see what he's doing. That's a good spot. It's a good way to do it. The A3 stack is a little sneaky. Not a bad way to do it. Not a bad way at all. Wait, what just happened? Okay, so G1 was played, and then the whole wall stack came over. He didn't spread like I thought he would. Unexpected. What's he playing at here? All right, are we going to see C1 from Abyss? We are. Attack threat for white. Throwing that A3 stack to the right would be a road. Black's going to have to make a capture, and any capture he makes is going to mess up with his current threats that he's trying to build. I mean, you could do A4 minus. Is probably the best capture you can make here. I don't know. It's a tricky position for both players. And now we get alion02 is down below 3 minutes on the clock. Abyss just below 1.5 minutes. All right, how's he going to respond to this one? Oh, he brings that wall stack over to the left. That is a way to do this. That does stop the immediate threat, but oh, we see d5 played right away. Why d5? Because he wants to build vertically again? All right, let's see this here. Okay, here's attack threat from black. Dropping a flat here on a6 would be a road. Ooh, dropping a... Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because he does have this wall stacked down here. I was going to say, dropping a flat there is risky because got a lot of options. So here's another attack threat from black. Coming down, now we can throw this stack up, spread it upwards. A4, A5, A6, make that threat. So white's going to have to do something about that. Drops a wall instead of making a capture. Interesting. He's saving this capture. Doesn't want this to smash, I guess. Though I wouldn't be able to. Spreads down. White now makes a threat in the horizontal direction, capturing up with a6. I think a7 right might be the way to combat that. Let's take a look at the flat count here. It's getting down to the wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 for black. And black has +2 komi. So it's looking a lot better for black now than it did a few moves ago. It was looking hopeless for white. Or hopeless for black, sorry, and now it's looking really good for black. We got a +2 move here. What is he going for? Yeah, so white is down by 1 flat. He does have a +2 move available, which would put him ahead by 1. And black doesn't have any. So white is actually looking ahead on this one. So if Abyss keeps placing flats and saves his +2 move for the end, he can run down his reserves and take this to a flat game and win it. I say at this point, he probably just wants to play a flat here at d6. Yeah, a flat at d6, I'd say seems fine. And he can push that out, but now he's below a minute on the clock. Seconds are ticking down. Alion02 is above 2 minutes. Abyss probably counting and recounting and trying to make sure he knows what he's doing here. Instead making a capture with that wall. Probably wants to come down and eventually capture this to liberate captives there, but I think he's got this one in the bag if he just keeps placing flats. I think he can win this. Black now placing at b2. I think Abyss can still win this if he just keeps flatting out, and eventually makes that +2 move at the end. I think he'll take it. Okay, the d6 has been placed. Black placing up there. They're both going for flats here. I think white's got this one in the bag. White just needs to keep flatting. Let me count again. $17 for black. $16 for white. Wait, hold on. Is that 17 without komi? Yeah, 17 without komi, never mind. So 19 for black. Yeah, so white does need to do some things to catch up. Never mind. So 19 for black. 16 for white. So yeah, white's got to make up a bit more. That +2 move won't cut it. So he's working towards getting another +2 move by bringing this wall down onto A1. Tricky situation. All right, he's got a +2 move available. Now he's got a +2 move here, going up to A3. And he's got one going left onto D2, so that's a total of +4, which does take him in the lead in terms of flats. That should do it. But then white or black can take this on top of A6 to then bring it down for a +2. Assuming white allows it. White could drop a wall there on A5 afterwards to stop it. But yeah, A3 was kind of rough for black because it does give white the ability to make that +2 move. I think he should have left A3 blank. Sure, it would have unpinned the capstones over there, but I think that would have been the better move because now it looks like white can win this on flats is almost a guarantee. White makes that +2 move. Now white wants to run down flats, then can make another +2 move. I mean, white can also, now that there's no line here connecting, white can move this capstone over left. Doesn't, goes for the F6 placement, just safe flat placements to run down flats so he can win on flats here. Both down to about a minute. Now alion02 is below a minute on the clock. Black placing here. Is white gonna place another flat at G6 maybe? I mean, can black make a desperation play? No, he can't make a desperation play there. By smashing. Not possible. Looked like black might have been trying to do a board fill before he made that move. It's not going to happen. White going to push for a board fill, maybe? I think if he does, I think if he takes, yeah, that's the move I was about to say. If he does that, I think it ends up being a Tinue for him. So currently, attack threat in the horizontal direction by placing at d4 or moving this left. Then, now something needs to happen, and so if black does a wall or moves the capstone or something like that over here, then he can come up and smash on b6. So this is attack threat in the horizontal direction. Got to be stopped. Then this smash makes a horizontal threat again. And he can, once this wall comes up or something, yeah, he'll be able to I think, secure Tinue here. Is he going to go for this smash up here on b6? Is he going to smash? Yeah, he is smashing on b6. Attack threat. And he placed up here and made this pretty secure, basically a citadel, which means black can't cut that off somehow. Ooh, that was a good move. That was a good move. But it's still a road for white because he can bring this stack down b6, 3b6 minus 1, 2, and that is a road for white. If he sees it. Again, he's got 40 seconds on the clock, so he might not see it. They're both down pretty low. alion02 made that move with 20 seconds left. Oh, he didn't see it. He didn't see the road that he had. He had the win, but missed it. Had the win and missed it. Which is common when you're that low on time. alion02 getting down to 20 seconds again. Makes that stack movement. White cannot smash here. That would leave him losing to a road, either vertical or horizontal. It's too bad he missed that road earlier. But drops the wall. I don't even know what the flat count is now. It's starting to look kind of grim for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 for white. Is it attack threat for black? And black wins with a road. That's going to be heartbreaking once white sees that he missed the road that he had here on this move. 3b6 minus 1, 2 would have been that, but he had 30 seconds left on the clock, and so he was pressed for time and missed it. That is a shame. But congratulations to alion02 for winning this Chandrian Invitational Tak Tournament match. Well played, both players. That was a lot of fun to watch. That time got the best of both of you in some places, I'm sure. It was really rough there. You guys were down pretty low on time. But excellent match. A lot of fun to watch that game. I'm sure you'll go back, look at some moves, and say, oh, I wish I had done X, or I wish I had done Y, or whatever. But lots of fun. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in, watching that. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAK, especially the TAK Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAK resources. Also, you can play other people online. That's right, you can find them and you can talk to them, tell them, hey, I want to play a game and play TAK. That's fine. Or you can say, hey, I want to play a game asynchronously, or like a correspondence game with no time limit or anything like that. You can play one move a day if you want to, and you can do all that right there in the Discord server, play those games in Discord itself. So be sure to check that out, and everybody, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy TAKing.